experience both at an NPL level and now you're at an A-League level, what would you say is the biggest difference between the two levels?
I get this question asked a lot, funnily enough. So I reckon the main difference would have to be just how much they train in the A-League compared to the NPL. In the NPL, you're training 3 nights a week, hour
Yeah.
and a half. A lot of the boys are coming straight from their jobs as tradies or pen pushers in the office. So I feel like that's the main thing. That's the biggest difference because with A-League club, you're waking up 8 o'clock in the morning. You got to make sure you eat right, arrive on time. You've got 6 background staff that are there already. You got to, do your prehab properly, warm up properly, have the right attitude, right mentality, because, anything can happen in the football world. So I feel like that's the main difference, just how intense training can be and the kind of sacrifice that you have to put to be an A-League player compared to a NPL player.
It's obviously a lot, very much more professional. It's probably something that's going to lead into my next question too, because my next question was going to be like, what advice would you give to a younger kid whose aspirations are to play in the A-League, who's someone, might be in the NPL now or might not be in the NPL, wants to go play into the A-League? Is it things like making up the difference on those extra training sessions? Because like you said, you're training pretty much every day now at an A-League level. At an NPL level, you're only training 3 times a week. Would you say that making up those extra training sessions by yourself or at an academy would definitely benefit someone to make that jump to the A-League?
Yeah, definitely. I reckon as a young kid, even though I was only training 3 nights at Sydney United, whether that would be with my own age group or the first team, I was going to academies. My parents were driving me to different places like Football Tech or, just academies just to make that repetition more often than not. So definitely I feel like the more you train, obviously, the better you're going to be, the better chance you're going to have of getting into that next level of the footballing life. So definitely, at least when I was growing up, I was almost training probably 6, 7 times a week. But you also got to love what you do at the end of the day. There's no point training if you aren't willing to, put all your effort into it and make sure that you're trying to do your best to get the best out of it. So that was my thing, at least. If I'm going to do extra training, if my parents are going to sacrifice their time and their money to take me to these academies, I'm going to do my best to repay that favour, and hopefully I'll end up reaping what I sowed.
Yeah. We've mentioned it a few times before with other guests as well, like comparing obviously Australia, how lucky we are to be in Australia, the facilities and everything that we have, and the life we can potentially have compared to the South Americans or the Europeans, whatever it may be. How football might be the only way out to have a good life, but I think it's probably something good for the young kids to recognise, so that we've got such good facilities. Like you go down the road, there's probably about 2 or 3, whether it's football fields, rugby league fields, whatever it may be, there's grass, there's fields, there's things you can do to try and better yourselves. And like you said, you really got to have that in you to make that extra effort to try and make it to the next step.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. And I hate when people say that, like, football is not a big sport in the country, because it still is. There's still, all you need is a ball and grass, or a brick wall and a ball. So it's like they're almost making an excuse that it's not favoured here, but at the same time, it's the biggest sport in the world. And like you said, there's countries in South America or Europe or Asia that all they have is a can or something, and they still love playing football. And I was listening to Benny's podcast the other day as well, and he was saying the opportunity we have here is incredibly greater than some kid would have in, let's say, Brazil or Peru or something like that. So, like you said, it's just all about, if you're really willing to do something with your football training, then I'm sure it will go a long way. Because I've been to Brazil and I've seen kids playing barefoot in the dirt with a ripped shirt, and they're just kicking around the plastic bottle, and they're just laughing and smiling. And you look at that and you think, there's kids at home that are spoiled with $200 soccer boots and the rest of it, and they're complaining about going to training. They don't want to run around, and it's almost sad to see.
This was not meant to happen.